Let's see, can you hear me? I'm sure they can hear me. I am at the LA County Art Museum with my Mr. Rich Sims field trip class, and I'm here with Lily.
I'm Lily.
And right now we're about to go into the museum to check things out. It's a pretty fun ride down here. I got a little sick yesterday and the day before that, but I'm fine now. I'm not no. And some of the students.
Is this going for YouTube?
Yes, it's going on YouTube.
Hi Sandra, eat your heart out.
I'm sorry Sandra, you had to see that.
His face isn't that bad.
I don't know what else to say. That's it.
You should tell them that every second Tuesday of every month is free.
For all of you guys who want to go to the LA County Art Museum, I have the second Tuesday of every month. It's free. We'll pamphlet right here. Let's have you go through that. That's like time wasting music, just so you know. There you go. Oh yay, no more. If you want that again, you have to go backwards and pause it. Well, hope you enjoy the tour. It's loud. There's a basic map of everything.
And the post-impressionists, what they did, they would wrap ceramics that were sold in Paris, all the big cities in Europe, and when there was a mistake, there was actually a mistake on the woodblock print. They weren't lined up right, and so it sort of looks like three-dimensional, 3D movies without the glasses. That's kind of how it looks. You have to align them perfectly. So if you have 50 colors, you have 50 woodblocks, and they all got to be lined perfectly to make it match. Well, that's a very difficult process. Close, look at this. And you start looking at this, and you see that very unusual composition. See, these were done in 1857. About that time, a little bit later, the Impressionists started. In Japan, you could look at these pots, and as we go out, some of you already looked at them. I think Victor was taking some pictures of them, right, in the front, yeah. You would, if you're in junior high, you would say, oh yeah, that's from northern Japan, that's from central Japan, and this is from, you know all these locations just by looking at it. And most collectors, and in these schools, they have a collection of shards, which are broken pieces. They're not of any value, but the students have a chance to feel and touch them, and that's, for a potter, that's a great experience. You have very small houses, very small, very cramped places. So it would be like, probably you live in a standard house, it'd be like 20 people living there. And you had futons, you put your mattress on the floor and that's how you sleep, and then you put it in a closet in the morning. And that's your living room, your bedroom. You may even have a little kitchen right off to the side, and that's it. So the space is very small. So they don't have room for like a lot of art. Pottery, if you're well educated, what you do is you have all your dishes are made by potters. They're not plastic. They're not made in molds. They're all made by well-known potters if you're wealthy. Now these were little sculptures that were worn. You see the photo in the beginning as you came in here of a man wearing one of these. These are how you show off your wealth. Pre-Columbian means before Columbus. And a lot of these works, some of them are 2,000 years old, some of them are 1,500 years old. Sometimes it doesn't matter how old they are, how beautiful they are. You see some things over here, and there's been several special collections over the years. It was very fashionable in the 60s to show. There was a doctor that had over, I think, 200 or 300 of these sculptures with different disabilities, hunchbacks, people with maybe 3 hands, all different deformities. Some of them some of these people had syphilis. You could diagnose their diseases, and he collected those. There was also people from every possible sexual encounter in every possible position you could possibly even fantasize about collecting them. You know, so they had all these things. These were collectors that specialized in different things. What I want to do here, I want to talk about basically the technique. How were they made? Isn't that nice? Yeah. There's some really gorgeous pieces. And here again, you know, we're just basically running through it, and you know, just taking a close look as we're seeing the home museum. My favorite, one of my favorite works is these tiles. It comes from Isnik, and these are about 500 years old. These little painted designs here on the tiles. Now you got to remember, you know, my students come in and then they roll things out on the slab roller. And you'll see the slab roller because that's where I'm going to roll out your handles on. Well, and then it comes out of the kiln and it's warped. This shrinks only 3%. Our clay shrinks about 18%. So you make a piece like this high, when it comes out of the kiln, it's going to be this high. So this is that mine? What happened? Here you see this beautiful little vase here, and that's about 400 years old, this little bottle here, and that beautiful copper luster. Church interior. You heard about the iconoclasts. They were a group of religious people, Protestants, who didn't want all this imagery. You know, Rubens, you know what Rubens' works look like. We just looked at one. He was what you call a Catholic Baroque. Very bright colors, very large pieces. Scenes like taking Christ down from the cross, a very famous one. Well, they wanted big, beautiful stuff for the churches to promote the Catholic Church, because Martin Luther was taking over. The Lutherans were taking over, the Protestants. And what did a lot of these groups do? They wanted to strip the church of all paintings and just have a place of worship without all this stuff up. Whereas the Catholics were just the opposite. And so you have these two groups, styles of paintings that was going on. And that's an example of what the churches actually look like. It's coming up for auction, and I'll let you know. It'll be in the paper, you know, even the local Antelope Valley paper will be in it probably. But anyway, this is a rather nice one here, one of the earlier works. You can still maybe see some imagery. That is paint, you know, thrown on the canvas, scribbled on it. And so, you know, as I said, I think Jackson Pollock is one of the four great artists of the Western culture. Starting with Giotto, Caravaggio, Paul Cézanne, and then Jackson Pollock. Completely changed. Now over here we have Smith, David Smith. And recently, not this one, but another one was bought by the Broad Foundation, I think for about $17 million. I think only in about the last 3 years was he able to just do art. He worked for a company as a welder. And so he had a huge farm, and about 500 acres, and he just covered this farm with different pieces. So it was very exciting for collectors to go there and to look at the work spread out in space. You can imagine you being outside and the sun hitting it, you know, hitting off of those lines that he made on this particular piece.
Is that a picture?
And I would say, you know, it's basically. Oh. They had a show here on his ladies, and this was sort of typical, like that was in the show. When he was, I don't think he really felt emotionally, except it's all about sex with Picasso. I don't think there was anything romantic, any love or caring about the individual. So he met these beautiful women, and I don't see one that's, these are like transitions here. But sometimes you have this very beautiful lady that's very sumptuous and really beautiful. And then they end like this, in sorrow and really ugly. snarling teeth, talking all the time, won't shut up.